Hello, welcome to Tea and Herbalism with Lady D, and I'm Lady D. Today we're going to be talking about elderberries. So this is my jar of dried elderberries, and the Latin name for elderberries is Sambuca nigra. So it's black. So like this, I'm trying to hold up one elderberry. This is one elderberry. It has seeds in it. So my warning is try not to eat fresh or dried elderberries raw because the seeds do have a component in it that will cause nausea and vomiting. So it's in the family of Adoxaceae. So usually the berries and or the flowers are used, but I make my own elderberry syrup. Elderberry syrup, and I use the berries. So my elderberry syrup is basic. So it's water with elderberries and honey. There are other recipes that add a lot more. So if you chose to make it with a lot more in it, you can. But I generally like to just have elderberry syrup. So the energetics are cooling and drying. The taste of the berries is sour, and the taste of the flowers is bitter. So elderberry, it grows on a bush. So it looks like a tree, but it's a big bush. Um, so the properties of the berries are antiviral, immunomodulating, means it modulates your immune system. It's antioxidant rich, and it helps with inflammation. So most of them is going to talk about the berries, not so much the flowers today. So the plant use is good for colds, flu, herpes, strengthening your eyes, lowering fevers, and ear infections. So I know someone who they live by when they start getting sick, taking the elderberry, and I try and do that also. And it cuts like colds and flus by about 2 days. So if you start taking it right away, it helps you sooner. So the preparations of the berries, which I tried to show you a berry, but it's hard to show you just this one berry without the extra camera. But it can be used as a food. Some people do like to eat them uh, and make like the syrup or juice and use it in cakes, which I haven't done that yet. But syrups, like I showed you, tincture, tea, and dye. So a lot of herbs can be used to dye. So you can dye fabrics with the elderberry. Um, some people like to dye fabrics with turmeric. But we're not talking about turmeric today. So the medicinal properties is filled with phytonutrients that modulate infection. It stops and shortens the duration of cold and flu, upper respiratory infections, and other illnesses, and it modulates and decreases pain. There is a French herbalist known as Bernard Bertrand, and he says that elder has so many properties that he calls it the house pharmacy. So, like on so everybody hates Chris. The mom was like, "Get the Robitussin for everything." I guess he's like, "Get the elderberry syrup." It helps with a lot of stuff. So, studies do show that elderberries help people with flu symptoms who took the elderberry sooner saw significant improvements. But I did share with you about 2 days sooner. So what I was trying to mention earlier about the elderberries and the seeds, they contain cyanogenic glucosides, and it needs to be thoroughly cooked before eating. Or you can experience discomfort, nausea, and vomiting. So what I do when I make the elderberry syrup, I put the elderberries in the pot with water, however much water I need to start out with. And I would recommend you boiling it for at least 15 to 20 minutes before you try to use it. So I boil my elderberries for 20 to 30 minutes. And usually about the 15, 20-minute mark, people will come out of their hidey holes. If you have people at your house like coming out, like, what is that? What does that smell? Because the smell is like a nauseous smell, but you need it to get there. And then I do like 5 to 10 minutes past that smell. because then it's good and that smell dissipates, and you know you boiled it long enough to get those cytogenic glucosides off of the berries, out of the berries, so that it's safe. So that renders it safe for use. You can either boil it or some people ferment it. So that's another way to do it, to get rid of those glucosides so that you don't experience the nausea and vomiting. So like I said, if you're boiling it, when you hit that smell, it makes your house smell like people are gonna throw up. Just keep boiling it 5 to 10 more minutes. Like I said, I do 10 more minutes. So I usually boil my elderberries no less than 30 minutes. And that's just for me. So when I'm making the syrup, you can use cheesecloth and or a strainer. And well, before I take it out the pot, I use a potato masher and mash those berries down. You'll hear it crunch. You want to get that all that good herbal goodness out of the berries. And if you need more water, I would recommend adding more water to the pot then. And then you can use your cheesecloth and strainer to strain it into a measuring cup. And you're going to want to use a spoon to mash down on those berries because you want all of that good juice out of the berries. You don't want to leave it in there. And you may have to use a few different cheesecloths because they will get gunked up. You just throw those away or compost. If you're a composter, you can compost those berries. And then you want to see how much syrup you have in the measuring cup. And to that, I recommend adding an equal amount of honey. So you can use raw honey if you choose to, but or a good honey. So if you add an equal amount of honey, and I usually add it back to the pot and boil it or simmer it, because I want the honey and the elderberry juice to just marry and be happy together. And then I'll pour it back into my measuring cup. And from there, I let it cool because it's already had the water, the berries, the honey, and then I pour it into these clean jars. I bought a bunch of these. As you can see my label on here. This is what I sell them in. So then I pour it into here, and with the equal amount of honey to the elderberry, it can last refrigerated for up to a year or even more, depending on how you feel about expiration dates. But you can always smell and taste like this is one that's already open. Yeah, there's a little mother on there. I still use it. And this is what I'm going to use to make the tea. So today we're going to add 1 to 2 teaspoons to the elderberry syrup into my teacup, and I'm going to add hot water. I think we'll do that now before I go on talking more about. Pretty much shared what I had to share about elderberry, but it is tasty. You can make gummies. I tried that successfully once. I recently found a recipe of a herbalist that I respect, and I would more likely use her recipe to see if I can make quality elderberry gummies. And that way, you have another way to enjoy elderberries. So you can eat it like a candy, or if you start to feel ill, you can take a few elderberry gummies. Lunar Love by Denise, where everything is handmade in small batches. You can reach me at my Etsy website or at my email address and place your order. I'm also known as Lady D. Thank you. And there's a lot that can be done with elderberries and the elderberry syrup, depending on your goals. So you can do your own research on that. So I have my cast iron teapot right here, hot water. I'm just going to add it to the syrup, which I put 2 teaspoons, just 2 regular teaspoons of the syrup from the bottle into my teacup. Just added that hot water, stirring it, get it mixed in there. Now, it already has the honey, so I shouldn't need a sweetener. And just like that, it's ready. That's delicious. I can taste the elderberries, a little of the honey. You know what? Can quickly make this into a hot toddy with some brandy or rum. Just saying. I think that'd be delicious with this. Maybe later, maybe after the recording. That's good. I think I'll incorporate that into my tea repertoire. Because that's actually my first time having the elderberry tea. So you all encourage me to branch out and try some things. So let's see here. Okay, so you have to be careful if you're foraging for your own elderberries. You want to be sure that you're getting elderberries from an elderberry shrub, okay? Because there are lookalikes that are toxic to humans. Like I know I told you with the elderberry, you can boil it past a certain point to be safe, but there's like poke berries, which I actually have a couple of poke plants in my backyard. I've been trying to eradicate the berries. They're dangerous to humans. Don't eat it. Okay. So you're gonna want to make sure you're eating the right thing. So, but the tree, well, it's a plant. I have several big plants. The birds do like the berries. So you're still feeding the wildlife, like the animals and the birds. They like the pokeberries, so they have a purpose. But as far as for people, don't eat it. And also, devil's walking stick is another plant that's a lookalike that's toxic to humans. So you're gonna want to be careful if you're picking, or you could do like I do and order my elderberries from a reputable herb supplier, and that way you know you're getting elderberries. And I know what elderberries look like now in the smell of the dried berries, so I know I have elderberries. But I just want to stress that with you. But I think today we've gone over a lot about the elderberries, and it's delicious. If you want syrup, you can email me, lunarlovebydenise@gmail.com. Uh, and I hope if you want to donate, you can donate to the network. It is, I think our Cash App is United Front. Yep, there it is. $ United Front Network. All the proceeds go back into the network. And you can also email us at weareunited@yahoo.com. And if you want to join our network and or use the StreamYard along with us, you can email to that We Are United, and then someone will get back to you. But thank you for joining me. I appreciate you, and enjoy this herbal journey with me.